Выходит, если стенгазета.
Good afternoon. We start our working day at Ukraine Crisis Media Center, and topic for today conferences in Cambridge and Oxford. Bohdan Solchanyk travel grant. Vira Goy, sister of Bohdan Solchanyk, Alina Sviderska, president of the Cambridge Society of Ukraine, Kateryna Busol, vice president of the Cambridge Society in Ukraine, Andriy Tymoshenko, head of the International Projects Department at Ukrgazvydobuvannya, graduate of Oxford. Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for this interest in this event and in travel grant of Bohdan Solchanyk. Today we have a special day. This is the birthday of Bohdan Solchanyk. For us, he is the hero, and starting February, we announced this travel grant, and many times we said about this grant and why we do it. And for us, this day is one more opportunity to remember Bohdan, who he was, and why he is a spiritual leader and a compass for values in Ukraine, and also to tell about the grant, how to apply, how to search for conference, and why it is worth taking part in this travel grant, and to participate in conferences in Cambridge and Oxford. I would like to tell you about Cambridge, Oxford, and then I will give the floor to Bohdan's sister, and she will tell us about him, and then we will have a discussion, and we will tell about the main aspects of our travel grant, and then there will be a Q&A session, and also we will answer those questions that are most frequently asked in order to provide more information about travel grant. We are Cambridge, Oxford graduates who returned to Ukraine, and we want to contribute to the development of Ukraine, especially after Maidan, when we understood that we have some weight in order to make changes in Ukraine. We are volunteers. We are working with some schools in the regions. We hold charity actions. One of them is fundraising for Bohdan Solchanyk grant. In December we had Christmas events. We got 30,000 hryvnias, and one more person provided money to buy tickets for a person who will take part in travel grant, and all this fund is used in order to send the people to Cambridge, Oxford. And Vira is given the floor, and after this we will continue our discussion. Good afternoon. Each year, for the fourth year, on the eve of Bohdan's birthday, I ask myself, and I ask him, brother, why don't you get older? Why you are still young and smiling? And the answer is simple and evident. He remained in 2014. So I cannot accept this, that he remained behind. So I want to tell about his contribution. Who are those people who really contribute? Who are leaders for young people? So these are politicians, sports people. So now, starting 2014, we have new heroes, and young people, I hope, will follow their lead, and they will live dignified life. And we should remember that Bohdan went to Maidan not to sacrifice his life, but to continue and promote life. And at 9, he was killed by Berkut, and he he wanted to go to Maidan, and he started his fight when he studied at school, and he went through this path, and he was active participant of the Orange Revolution, and he knew how to bring students out of the classrooms, I mean thousands of students. And he used this experience in 10 years in the Revolution of Dignity, when, according to him, he brought to Maidan 20,000 students. And also, he was involved in scientific work, and leading universities wanted to have him as a student, and he didn't have much time to write his thesis, but something had to happen, and in summer 2013, in the media there was an information that some law enforcers raped a girl, and there was no response of the public, and he was not able to keep silence, and he went to his Maidan. He went to the law enforcers in Lviv Oblast together with his friends, and I also joined them. And in 2014, on the years of Orange Revolution, he said, "My country needs me," and I felt this at that moment. And Bogdan, people heard him, and they trusted him. He had a wonderful smile, logic, speech, and he really wanted to contribute, and the people trusted him. Bogdan, he really knew a lot, but he never tried to show him, and this was a main trait of his character. He was really modest, and he was ready to take responsibility. And he took this responsibility when it was announced about non-signing of association with the EU, and he seized the building of Oblast administration, and together with him there were his friends, students, and also this day he formed a column, and he led the column to Franco University, that is the heart of students' protests. Then the revolution started and shifted to the capital. And in Maidan in Kiev, he didn't attend often, but he regularly visited. And then first killings happened, and he spoke to his parents, and he said that in order to change something in this country, more blood should be shed. And these were terrible words, but this was the truth. And he believed that to sacrifice the life for Ukraine is the simplest thing one can do. It is much more difficult every day to contribute by mind and hands to Ukraine, and this is a testimony that you should take responsibility, to trust in young people, and to work. And also I would like to state that this is important, that he came to Maidan not to sacrifice his life. It was brutally taken from him. And if he was alive, he would be the leader of changes, at the front line of changes, where all of us should be.
Thank you, Vira, very much for the story. The more or me or our people get information about Bohdan, the more we are inspired by him and admire him, because he has never
Ці вірші не публікував під час свого життя, вони вже опубліковані.
his verses has been published by his friends, because they have not been published when he was alive. But it seems as if he is alive now, as if he were alive now. He motivated his nearest and dearest and friends to the best deeds, and in principle, that is why such awards of heroes of Ukraine as Bohdan Solchanyk grant are established. These awards, we hope, will continue his cause. We have some eligibility criteria. One of them is values. It is hard to check values via questionnaires, but we will interview people to feel that the person is responsible, socially active, at least a little bit resembling Bohdan. This is hard to check. But we give this explanation for those applicants to understand what requirements we set to them. Now I will tell a little bit, and after that we will have discussion. We do not have very strict requirements. A person will choose a conference of interest for him. Bohdan was a historian. He researched the post-communist societies and the electoral law in applications in towns in the west of Ukraine. This topic could be too narrow for Ukrainian community, and we want to have more people from different areas. You can be chemist or physicist or philologist of Ukrainian. The main criteria is the person should be socially active and academically active. We mean bachelors, lecturers, researchers from research institutions. Our main goal is even for those people who are abroad in such universities as Cambridge and Oxford, to get more information about Ukraine, to become more aware of what happened in Maidan and what activists are doing in Ukraine to change it for better. So please look for the conference which you are most interested in. The deadline, we postponed it. It is the 1st November for travel grant of 2017. By the time you should find the conference of interest, file your application and get confirmation. And then you can apply for the grant itself. The conference will take part in November 2017 till February, March 2018. This is our first time, and we hope the conferences will be a success and the travel grant will be a success. And when a person returns to Ukraine, we will assist this individual and the travel grant after Solchanyk, and we hope those we will cover also visas, travel expenses, some pocket money, per diems, participation fee up to £100. sometimes £600 for research conferences where such bills were produced to us. We do not pay £600, up to 100. And now we will have time to answer the questions of those people who has already started to look for conferences. Now I'm giving the floor to Andriy Tymoshenko, Head of International Projects Department. Good afternoon. Thank you, Alina. Thank you for coming. Our condolences on this day. As Alina already said, we hope that although this is our first time, but we hope this grant will become regular. Ukraine is not still has not got used to grants. Not often we can find grants in Ukraine, but this maybe will become an example to follow for other universities. And this grant after Bohdan Solchanyk will be the grant for young students, researchers, and will be a reminder about values. What values should people nurture, and also will remind us of the heavenly 100 of the victims. I would like to tell you how to find conferences, to give you guides. On the example of Oxford University. The same concerns Cambridge University. Maybe some differences will be, but the approach is the same. Two parts are important here: to find the right conference and to fill out the application correctly. Both parts, both components are important, evenly important. The presentation will be public, will be posted at our website. Here are keywords for you to look for conferences, not just conference, but call for abstracts, call for papers, what is used. These keywords for you to search. Just mention your specialty or your topic for general search. The next step to focus, go to the website of the university, and at the site you will see the list of all events in the format that they can publish. Why we are establishing this grant? Not only because we are alumni of this university, and it is easier for us to organize a visit of young researchers to this university, but because they are very large centers of modern sorts where events on any topics can be held, and the topics are based on state-of-the-art research, on most recent research. So there are very many conferences. Some events are held every day, and most of events are posted on the website of the university. And when you know your research topics on which you want to deliver reports, look at web pages of individual faculties by your specialty. For example, Mathematical Institute of Oxford University, and the web page of this institute. There is a list of events they hold. Academic year starts in September, but something happening even now in summer at the venue of this institute. So I recommend you also to look for the next year list of events. They plan events for the next year at the beginning of October, and if you want to apply, they will respond to you fast. Just prepare a letter. I will tell you how to prepare a letter and mail it. In order to apply, just connect organizers. You will see a detailed guidelines how to do that. Just write them in the prescribed format. This is a letter of specific structure demonstrating that A, you are really researching, are conducting researches on this topic. Here is an example, an application for a conference of one of our members, Yaroslav Hartman. The topic is about decommunization, why you, and an example is provided his own letter. It is structured respectively, and please better correspond to the structure. Demonstrate that you know the topic, that this topic is relevant. The first paragraph is dedicated to the relevance of the topic. Then say that you have already researched in this topic, and you will report on your home assignments which you did in your researches. As conferences are academic, so you just describe what topics you research, why you think your report will be of high quality and contribute to the conference. I'd like to mention also, just look for several conferences, because it is not essential that you will have that you will be listed, because there could be not enough places for membership by the time. Maybe several topics, some adjacent topics. If you are sure that you want to report, just look at several conferences, mail several applications, and you will succeed. Now I am giving the floor to Kateryna. She will tell us how to prepare to the conferences. Thank you. I will talk about the values, which are one of the criterion, and how it is connected with the conference search. We have got many letters asking for the list of conferences. How you look for them is already the demonstration of whether you understand Maidan values. You should find the list yourself. If you want to file application in microbiology, we will assist you, but we will not provide you detailed lists of events. If we are talking about cinematography, cosmonautics, or other topics. Logistics is in your hands. File your application and then address us for assistance. An application is not a full text of your report. Just don't think that your report should be 20 pages long. An application is a short document. It just should be well structured. Just look requirements for academic essays or conference papers in the internet. There is enough information on these topics on the internet, and structure this short document which should be from 400 words to 2-3 pages maximum. When this short document is received by the university and they provided you confirmation, then contact us and we will then discuss the procedure of support and logistics, and after that you will write your full report, your full essay of 25 pages. You shouldn't have it by November 25th. Don't be afraid to contact don't hesitate to contact specific experts in Oxford or Cambridge University. For example, you are a specialist in military aggressions and you, for example, refer to Professor Gray works very often. You can contact her for recommendations whether the conference is planned in Cambridge or Oxford University on this topic. All lectures are open for such questions, and we are open for dialogue as well. You can easily find us at Facebook. You can write to email of travel grant as well. Don't hesitate to contact directly some professors of the universities, and I'm glad to hear about Bohdan. Vira told us about him as a person, and I would like to encourage you not to be too closed. Just tell about yourself. We would like to help such people who have academic potential and very strong personal qualities, and who can demonstrate their potential in the international arena. And in comments on the military conflict in Ukraine, the comments are provided not by Ukrainians, so high quality research which you will be delivering in Oxford or Cambridge will mean much, and we are ready to assist you. So contact us by travel grant contact details, emails.
So how to search and where to search and what to pay attention to. I would like to ask several questions, the most frequently asked by people who applied for the first time, about English language, whether it is really of importance. It is really important, but you should understand that English, especially academic English, is really simple. These are small, strict sentences. It is not like Dostoevsky. Your basic language will be enough. You just need to read specialized literature in English, and we have many open sources now, so if you need some articles and if access is paid, so you can call us and we will help you in this. So people who apply for this conference and the application which can be taken, so this person has appropriate level of English in order to be competitive at the international level. You should read international research and be in the trend, so you should read materials, foreign materials, and this provides you with proper lexics, proper words. And the aim of the grant is that one of the purposes is that a person travels abroad and she or he can tell about people, and this should be a sharing of opinions, and they should be able to publish their works there, and English is really important. And if a person doesn't know English, it creates obstacles, and people cannot take part in conferences. That's why we ask everyone, and we motivate people to learn English in order to join international conferences. And one more thing about the expenses and the coverage of expenses by travel grant. I would like to say that this is a pilot project. That's why at the moment we gathered funds in order to cover visa issues. And this is costly, and many people cannot travel because of this. Then a flight, accommodation, and one of Miroslava Hartman, she agreed that Edmonds College will accept people for free, so a person can stay there, and the college agreed to this. And Miroslava said about Bohdan, about the travel grant, and they supported it, and they said that they will be pleased to support such initiative further, and we are grateful to the university and college that they agreed. And in Oxford also they will have accommodation and some money for traveling and eating out. Britain is rather costly country. So, and as I said in the beginning, and I would like to stress it, that £600 contribution. This is not scientific conference. We consider 100, and if there will be specialized conferences, maybe £200 for specialized conferences. We will consider such things, and according to our selection, we will have the applications, and we will see the finalists, and we will have an interview to understand whether these people really can participate. And Katya said about it, about the list of conferences. We do not have the list of conferences. You should search for these conferences yourself. So here we got accustomed that everything is done for us and we just follow it, but abroad everything is different. You should do by yourself, and they demand results, and we want you to be motivated to search for opportunities, and there are a lot of opportunities now. And as Katya said, that this is one of the values of Maidan, that the people should search and find and reach what a person wants. So we do not have a list. You just should search. If you need some help, a girl addressed, and she said that she wants to participate at a conference on human rights. And she went to the conference, and she said that this conference is connected with business rights and finances, and the topic of her report was the rights of dignity during Maidan. So this was not the right conference for her, and this conference cost €600, and we said we can help you to find the conference on human rights in order that you could really contribute and search for the conferences that really correspond to your topic, and about traveling to conferences in Cambridge and Oxford. They are really important for researchers. This is networking, communication of research, communication of information about Ukraine. And also we will support the relationship with the recipients of the grants, and after they return to Ukraine, we hope that you will implement the values of Bohdan, the values of Oxford and Cambridge, and at your university, at your workplace, at your research center. We hope that you will organize events and introduce the new quality standards to academic writing, because we have problems with the structure and building arguments. And this travel grant is not only about traveling to England and back, but this is about the work that will carry out in Ukraine and science we should develop in our country. So we have questions from the audience. No, we don't have. So you can write through Facebook, and you can also find our site at Heavenly 100 Heroes Families, and on Facebook, and we are open. You shouldn't be afraid that we won't reply. We respond. And I can give my phone number. Vera, maybe you want to add something. And at the end, I would like to thank you for this wonderful initiative, for this view to the future and for the memory. And if Bohdan was among us, he would really like this initiative. And I wish the future winners to reach high results in their field. And remember about Bohdan. Thank you for this wonderful presentation. So we don't have questions. Thank you for this initiative. Thank you for this project. And of course, Bohdan should be commemorated in such great ways. And Ukrainian students, they should work on themselves, and they should be more motivated. I recently graduated, and I remember about inertia. And then we need this depth of scientific knowledge that is present in Western academic community. And people should really study their topics and contribute to science. And when people travel abroad, they will bring best practices, and our education will improve and will develop. Thank you. And we thank Bohdan because he motivates all of us.